Notre-Dame Cathedral Basilica of Saigon, officially called Cathedral Basilica of Our Lady of the Immaculate Conception, is a cathedral located in the downtown of Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. It is established by the French colonists who initially named it the Church of Saigon. The cathedral was constructed between 1863 and 1880. So let's talk partly about the history of the cathedral. Back when Vietnam was still a colony of the French, they wanted to have a place that they can serve as a place of worship or community service for the French colonists. So in 1863, they first built the church or the cathedral in the bank of the Channel Canal. In 1865, it was finished, officially called the Saigon Church. However, not long after, it was destroyed by termites because the construction was made of wood. In 1877, they reconstructed the church with the materials shipped from France. It took over 3 years to finish, cost over 2.5 million French francs, and people call it the State Cathedral. Throughout centuries of construction and renovation, the Saigon Notre-Dame Basilica has become a trademark for urban architecture in the south of Vietnam. It has witnessed the turbulent history of the city. Up until today, the 159-year-old construction still functions as a stronghold for religious for roughly 6.2 million people currently living in Saigon, and has become a striking relic for tourists. The Ho Chi Minh City Archdiocese is launching an extensive renovation project on the Saigon Notre-Dame Basilica scheduled from 2017 to 2023, which would cost roughly $6 million. A highly resistant structure, the contractor of the Saigon Notre-Dame Basilica has to import all the materials from France, which was remarkably uncommon at the time. So, the roof tiles were supplied from Marseille, while the stained glass were manufactured by the Lorraine firm of Chartres. More notably, the exterior of the cathedral was made from bricks that were imported from Toulouse. These bricks, up until today, without the concrete coating, still hold the bright red color and free of moss. The basilica is capable of accommodating 1,200 people. Its sublime interior encompasses the chapel range, the chancel in the middle, two sub-sart space separated by two central rows of pillars with 6 pillars on each side representing the 12 apostles. The main altar of the Sark Palace depicts 6 angels carved into monolithic marble, and the pedestal displays relic sculptures. Initially, the two front buildings of Saigon Basilica were 36.6 meters high. In 1895, the French erected two 57.6 meter high bell towers tipped with iron spires. The top of each building is a 3.5 meter tall crucifix that makes the tower reach a total height of 60.5 meters and become the tallest bell towers in Vietnam. The Twin Tower holds 6 bronze bells weighing a total of 30 metric tons. These power-operated bells were made in France and shipped to Saigon in 1879. The priests only ring all 6 bells together on special occasions, such as Christmas Eve, when you can hear their sounds from up to 10 kilometers away. Between the twin bell towers is a big clock with a weight of 1 ton. It's manufactured in Switzerland in 1887. After 135 years, the cathedral's clock still works perfectly and is regarded as the oldest clock in Ho Chi Minh City. Saigon Notre-Dame Cathedral gained international attention when grabbing headlines in the Wall Street Journal in October 2005. Some fervent witnesses astonishingly claimed that the statue of Virgin Mary once mysteriously shed a single tear on her right cheek. After the incident occurred, thousands of people flocked to the basilica to see this unconfirmed miracle. forcing authorities to stop traffic around the Paris Commune Square.